Alicia here. Real quick before we get into today's episode, I just want to let you know that my Friday before Black Friday sale is coming up and it is my biggest sale of the year. So if you have been waiting for a sign to book a boudoir session, here it is. If you want to get first dibs, I recommend signing up for my email newsletter, and the link to that is going to be in my description of this episode. So check that out and just wait for November 22nd when the biggest sale of the year launches. Oh, and stay tuned at the end of this episode for a little teaser of what a session looks like at my studio. Hello, and welcome to the Babe Bulletin podcast, where we talk self-love, empowerment, boudoir, and, anything else that makes us feel like a total babe. I am Alicia. I am your friendly neighborhood boudoir photographer. I've been doing this for almost 8 years at this point. Holy smokes, 8 years, that's a long time. And I've learned a lot about self-love and self-care and body liberation throughout my almost decade of doing this, and I just want to share what I know with you. And speaking of what I know, sometimes it sucks to have a body. That is something that I have learned the hard way, really, this year especially. Sometimes in the self-care, self-love space, we get really caught up in this idea that we have to like ourselves all of the time, and that is just not true. Lately, I have not been really vibing with my body. I've been dealing with a lot of chronic pain stuff, and it's been getting better, but it's just not where I want it to be yet. And it's been almost 2 years of this. I guess we're at a year and a half right now. It feels like forever. And then on top of that, I don't know, Goodwill's dressing rooms just had the audacity to make me feel really crappy the other day. I just hated what I saw in the mirror, and despite so much energy and time into, liking myself and being neutral about the way that my body looks, I still really struggled with what I was seeing. I think it's those dang fluorescent lights that hang down on you in a Goodwill dressing room. I was just trying to do my part. I was trying to purchase sustainable fashion and do my part as a thrifter. But darn, those dressing rooms, ooh, not kind. My inner critic showed up and I spiraled a little bit, and I just felt bummed out for 3 days about what I saw in that mirror. Um, then I kind of got back on track. I stopped using the mirror to body check myself. I recognized when that was happening. I said my affirmations when the inner critic showed up, and I feel much better now. But sometimes it just sucks having a body. Sometimes you're not going to like yourself. Sometimes it is just a bummer to exist in these flesh sacks that we have to carry around with ourselves all of the time. And if I've learned one thing, it's that it's okay to have those days where we just kind of want to be bummed about it. I don't want you to hold on to that. I don't want you to carry that with you all of the time. But, I consider myself an expert on body acceptance at this point, and self-care and self-love, and even I struggle. So if you're having a bad body image day, just know it's okay. It's not going to feel this way forever. Give yourself some grace, some forgiveness. Go do something nice for yourself, and we can get back on track tomorrow. Okay, so let's, with that in mind, right, we're feeling a little bit better about ourselves now. Hopefully we're giving ourselves some grace, some patience. Let's jump into what I consider to be a very important topic. If you're watching this right now, I have on my holiday sweater that says cheers, because I want to talk about the holidays that are coming up. And I know that Christmas and Thanksgiving can be stressful for a lot of people, and we tend to lose sight of self-care a little bit during the holiday season. So I have some tips and some tricks on how you can nurture your well-being as we get into full-on holiday season. So whether you celebrate Hanukkah or Christmas or Kwanzaa or Thanksgiving or what have you, I know there's a lot of big holidays coming up. We got to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves so that we don't get too burnt out from all of the festivities, because man, does it feel like there's a lot of stuff that happens in November and December and the start of January. Ugh. As the holiday season approaches, I know my calendar fills up. We're talking, festive events. I want to go downtown and look at the lights. There's a ton of family and friend gatherings that happen. And, there's the joy of giving, which is great, but also sometimes all of that together just feels like so much, and we lose sight of prioritizing our own well-being. So, let's jump in a little bit. Let's keep that journey of self-care going, and I want to explore some practical tips with you today on just how to navigate the holidays so that they really are filled with joy and hopefully not too much stress. So first thing is first, we got to make sure that we are prioritizing rest. Just like eating or bathing, rest is a necessity. And I want to make sure that you're getting enough sleep. Okay? You recharging your body and your mind? Producer Dustin right now is shaking his head. The new Call of Duty is out. I'm not sure he's gotten a good night of sleep since it came out. Quality rest enhances resilience, all right? And you can get into the full festive spirit when you are well rested. So don't stay up too late. Try to get, 7 to 9 hours, I think is the sweet spot. Whatever it may be. Some people need more, some people need less, but please make sure that you are well rested. Just some things that I've picked up while I am trying to get better sleep. Blue light before bed is not super helpful. This is something that I don't come at me, all right? Because I am a phone scroller before bed, and I know that that's not the best. I'm working on it. No, I'm not. Um, I'm probably always going to be a phone scroller before bed, but it really is not great for you if you're trying to get a really well rested sleep. I love drinking peppermint tea before bed, especially on nights when I'm feeling very, very anxious. That has really calmed me down. So maybe there's a tea out there you could try. Hot, soothing baths and showers right before bed can be really helpful. Making sure that the firmness of your mattress is what you need. Maybe you're not sleeping on a great pillow and there's a better option out there for you. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff to try. So hopefully, whatever it is that you need to do, you're able to do it and get the rest that you need. Because if you're going to be doing all of these festive holiday activities, you got to be charged up for them. You got to be, well rested to enjoy them. So get your sleep, people. Get your sleep. Also, amidst the celebrations, it is crucial to set boundaries because we're trying to honor our well-being, right? And I know that the people pleasers out there are really going to struggle with this one. Hello, I am a recovering people pleaser myself. We are going to learn to graciously decline invitations or commitments, because if you say yes to every single one, it is going to overwhelm you. I have come a long way on my people pleasing journey, we'll call it. And I feel like I'm pretty good at this point. I no longer worry if I'm disappointing people by saying no or I can't attend that. I know it's what I have to do to just protect my energy during a very, very, very busy season. And it's not that you don't love the person that you're saying no to. It's not that you don't want to do the thing. You just don't have the capability of doing it. You can only make so many Christmas cookies. You can only attend so many festive events. You just can't do everything, even if you want to, and that's okay. So, we're going to set some boundaries, which will ensure that we have the time and the energy for the things that really truly matter to you. I want to make sure that you've got enough energy to take your kid to the Christmas parade if that's really, really important to you, or that you've got the time and energy to bake, homemade goods for everyone for the Christmas season if that's important to you, whatever it is. You got to have the time and energy for it. And in order to have the time and energy, you just can't say yes to everything. So, here are a couple of suggestions on ways that you can graciously and politely say no to certain requests. Thank you so much for the invitation, but I have prior commitments that day. I appreciate the invite, but I won't be able to make it. I hope you have a great time. Maybe somebody asks you to help out at a holiday event. Oh, I wish I could assist, but I've got personal commitments that require my attention right now. Or I am unable to help in the moment, but I appreciate your understanding. Great. Maybe somebody wants you to come to a party or commit to attending a festive event, and you just have to say, I'm sorry, but I can't commit to that right now. I hope you understand. Or I appreciate you asking, but I just won't be able to help out this time. All of those are super nice ways of saying no. And if somebody said one of those to me, I'd be like, yeah, I totally get it. You got other stuff going on. No big deal. So if you are a people pleaser, this season we're going to practice setting some boundaries and saying no to people, and it's okay. Take a deep breath. It's all going to be good. You can say no, nothing bad is going to happen, okay? Something else that tends to happen around the holidays is that we get so kind of buggered down by everything that's going on because there's so much going on that we miss out on these moments of mindfulness. Like the holidays really are such a warm and inviting time for a lot of people, and it can be easy to miss out on kind of the magic of the season when we are just feeling like when we feel like we're just drowning in everything that we have to get done. So, I'd recommend taking just a few moments of deep breathing, go for a nice walk, maybe during the fresh, right after it snowed or something. I love going walking right after it snowed. Maybe you just need a quiet moment with a warm beverage. Go make yourself some cocoa or a nice cup of tea, because these pauses can offer clarity and peace during a time that is just like buzzing with energy. Around the holidays, I tend to lean full in on like the hygge mindset. If you're not familiar with that, it's a Danish word, which I hope I pronounced correctly, which means coziness and creating a warm atmosphere. And it's all about taking time to relax and just enjoy life's simple pleasures with loved ones. And I just love the coziness of it. So I tend to sit in my living room and I will be wrapped up in a blanket. And I love to put on holiday lo-fi music and just enjoy the warm glow of my Christmas tree. And it's such a nice way to spend my evenings, especially if I've had like a really long day at work. It's just such a peaceful way to unwind. So I would encourage you to take a couple of moments every day just to enjoy being and look at all the little magical stuff going on around you. Get cozy, grab a blanket, and carve out just a few moments every day to practice a bit of mindfulness. I also want you to take some time every day to practice gratitude. Yeah, fully embrace it. This is kind of the season for that, right? In the midst of all of the festivities that are going on, let's take some time to reflect on all of the blessings that we have in our life. Embracing gratitude is great. It helps foster a positive mindset. And I feel like it just makes the joy of the season even more, right? I just feel like it enhances that joy when we are practicing gratitude. So maybe you could keep a gratitude journal. Maybe you could just pause at some point during your day and mentally think about something that you're grateful for. I don't know. Let's take a couple of moments to really appreciate all of the wonderful, amazing things that we have in our life, and we'll be grateful for them. Because when is the last time we did that? Sometimes, it's easy to get just weighted down by stress and worry. And if we can just take a couple of minutes to practice gratitude, that stress and that worry just dissipates a little bit. Something else that I would recommend doing during the holiday season is to engage in some physical activity if you can, if your body allows. Physical activity is an amazing self-care tool. It brings, I want you doing whatever kind of movement brings you pleasure and joy. Maybe that's a dance session. Maybe it's a nature walk. Maybe you've got like a yoga class that you love going to. Lyra, I don't know. There's a gazillion things you could be doing for movement. And I just want to make sure that you're enjoying it and you're not using it to punish yourself, because diet culture is going to want to sneak its nasty little voice into your life and say, oh, you need to work out because you just ate a Christmas cookie. Oh, you need to work out because you're going to gain weight from Thanksgiving. Wrong. No, we are going to move our bodies because we like it. We enjoy it. It's our me time. We know that it benefits our body, in ways of like keeping blood pressure down and keeping stress levels down, right? It uplifts our spirits too. It can be a great social tool. Maybe your friends are in your workout class with you. There's a lot of really great ways to move your body that are not for punishment. So yes, we are going to engage in joyful movement this holiday season. No, we are not doing it because we feel that we have to in order to lose weight or burn off a Christmas cookie or punish ourselves for enjoying a slice of pumpkin pie. We're not going to work out for those reasons. We're going to move our body because we like to, because it brings us joy. So find that activity for you. I would, if you're living in Wisconsin, hopefully it's an indoor activity. But, shout out to the folks who like skiing and snowboarding. You guys are great. I do not have the patience for snow down my pants. So it's not for me. But maybe you can find something indoor, warm and cozy. That's what I'm all about. Cozy cardio, is that still a thing where people like created that just like warm, inviting, soft atmosphere, dimmed lights, nice music, their favorite TV show, and then they would like walk on the treadmill or like do the stepper or whatever. And I was like, that's my vibe. Cozy cardio. I can get into that. But find whatever brings you joy. Something else, and I'm going to talk specifically really to women on this one because I feel like women tend to go pretty hard into this. There are expectations I feel like that are sometimes put on us, especially moms, that aren't put onto other people. Um, it's okay to simplify your holiday celebration. Maybe that means we scale down the decorations. Maybe it means we plan a potluck gathering instead of cooking everything ourselves from scratch. I promise you, instant mashed potatoes are just as good as homemade mashed potatoes. It's okay to like make things a little bit easier on yourself, opting for a meaningful experience instead of a material gift. Just anything you can do to kind of simplify your celebrations in order to reduce stress. Oh, that's going to just amplify the joy of the season. And I'm talking especially to moms because I feel like the pressure and the expectation of making Christmas magic, holiday magic, I feel like it's really put on you guys. And that's a lot of responsibility to take on. I would hope that you have someone who can help you out with that. But I don't know. Sometimes I think moms put a lot of pressure on themselves, or they feel external pressure from society or their partner or whoever it is to make the holidays the most magical thing ever. And I want you just to take a breath and know that you don't have to do all of that. If somebody wants something, they can do it. They can make it. They can bake it. They can buy it or put it in the oven, okay? It's all right to simplify. What people are going to remember is how they felt in the moment, how they felt being with you, the games, the laughs, that kind of stuff. So people really aren't going to remember if dinner had one side dish instead of seven, but they will remember their time with you and the memories that they made with you. And isn't that more important than spending, I don't know, 2 weeks pulling your hair out because there's just so much to do, I would encourage you to simplify things if that has been how you have felt in the past. Delegate, and hopefully, if you have a partner, they are contributing just as much to the holiday spirits that you are. And if they're not, maybe we go pause this podcast and go have a conversation right now. Let's put that on the top of our to-do list, all right? While the holidays are a busy season and then we feel like there's a lot of rush, let's talk back to those connections, right? Let's talk about the memories that we make with our loved ones. This is your chance to connect with those special people in your life. Maybe it's in person or maybe it's virtually. These connections that we have with friends and family that we love so much, it offers emotional support and it reinforces a sense of community, which is so important because we are not islands. We are social creatures and we should have relationships with other people. If you can, maybe take an hour or two to go grab coffee or talk and walk with a friend. Maybe you could hop on a Zoom call with a family member that lives really far away or exchange letters. When's the last time you got a letter? I don't know. I get Christmas cards only around Christmas and otherwise really no other form of fun mail. It's just all bills. I would love to get a letter. So, if you've got a couple of moments, maybe you're winding down at the end of your day and you've got your warm beverage and the Christmas lights in your house are twinkling. Take a minute to write a letter or reach out to someone that you love because this is a really wonderful time for connection. You know what else I want you doing? I want you engaging in activities that you love. Do stuff that brings you joy. Maybe it's reading, maybe you like crafting or you like listening to music, engage in your hobbies and your passions to keep that sense of fulfillment and balance going. I am not a phenomenal crafter, but I do like to try. So last year I made a sugar cookie garland, and you take 2 pieces of felt and then you cut out the shape of a sugar cookie and then you cut out white felt and you stitch it on there and then you cut out little sprinkles and you stitch those on there and then you stuff it with some stuffing. And I actually used the stuffing from my dog's old dog toys that he had like ripped apart. So woohoo, yay for sustainability. Reduce, reuse, recycle, right? So I took stuffing from his old dog toys and I put it in the little felt cookies that I had made, and I made a bunch of them. And then I stitched them onto a piece of string and I hung them up over my window. And it's so cute. It's the cutest like garland string set that I have. And I am planning on making more this year because I really enjoyed it. And it was such a nice way to relax and unwind. And I felt really good and proud of myself when they were all done because I was like, I made that. I felt accomplished. So, whatever it may be, take time to engage in those activities because I don't want your sense of fulfillment to go away just because we got a couple of really busy months ahead of us in terms of the holidays. So yeah, keep doing the fun stuff that you love. Don't put that stuff on the back burner just because you're getting busy with other things. I want you to still do the stuff that brings you joy. And then also, I want you to do stuff that's just you. I mean, amidst all of these like social engagements that we have, you deserve to gift yourself a couple of moments of solitude as well. It can be a lot. If you're an introvert like me, you get tired from being around people all of the time. If you're an extrovert, teach me because I just get really tired from being around a lot of people. So I need moments entirely by myself to recharge. Doesn't mean I don't love being around those people. It just means I get tired and I need a break and I need to be alone. I like to use my alone time for introspection, for relaxation, for engaging in those activities that we just talked about. If I'm going to make that little sugar cookie garland, I would like to do it alone in my house by myself. in my living room with my music going. I don't want anybody else around. That's what creates a sense of peace and rejuvenation for me. And, you know, I talked about extroverts. You guys could even use a little bit of alone time and quiet time to recharge. So give yourself a couple of moments to do that, okay? And last but not least, I want you guys to be kind to yourself. I want you to, be nice. I want you to be nice to yourself all of the time, of course. But the holiday season, I get it, right? It can be joyful, but it can also be really challenging. It can be really sad for some people. It can be almost a time of grief for some people. I know that this can be really, really hard for some folks out there. And if you're one of those people, I hope that you can just be kind to yourself. Maybe I listed a couple of things in this podcast episode that you're like, oh, I can do that. That's a way to treat myself. That's a way to be nice to myself. I'm going to start doing those things because, you know, there's a lot of ups and downs around the holiday season. And I just want you to give yourself some grace. I want you to give yourself some self compassion. And please know that you are doing a great job, okay? You are. You're doing a really good job. So, hopefully, we've got some ideas now on how to navigate this holiday season, and we're going to prioritize our well being, and we're going to engage in some of these self care tips because I want your celebrations to be filled with joy and connection and inner peace. And I think this is the way to do it. I think these are some ideas to get us going down that path. All right. So I'm wishing all of you a very warm and self nurturing holiday season. All right. Yes. Are we feeling good? Are we ready to jump into Thanksgiving and the rest of the holidays with both feet? Yay. Okay. Great. Moving into this week's Babe of the Week. You know how I just talked about sometimes needing help from other people to get stuff done? Yeah, that's me. I have needed help at my studio, and I just want to shout out my one of my studio's hair and makeup artists, Megan, because she has been coming in clutch for me a couple of times. I had a session recently where I got to the studio and I couldn't find my phone. I searched the whole studio top to bottom. I went back to my truck. I must have gone back to my truck like 3 times from the parking lot to my studio because I thought for sure I had dropped it. Must have dropped it in the parking lot. I was so stressed out because my phone is my source of internet in my studio. It's my hotspot. So if I don't have my phone, I can't play music. And if I don't have my phone, I can't take credit card payments because you need the internet to do that. So I was like, I can run the whole session. That's not a big deal. I can still take photos, I can still show them to the client, but I'm not going to be able to take a payment, which I don't love. That doesn't seem very professional. And I'm not going to be able to play any music for this person. And I love playing music during sessions. Nobody wants to hang out in a room in the quiet. Like I can talk, but I can't talk enough to fill a whole session. So I was freaking out. And when Megan got here, she was setting up. She asked me how I was doing, and I was like, "Megan, I'm stressed because I've lost my phone." Not only was it stressful from like a work situation and me feeling like I wasn't showing up as a professional, but you know, my whole life is kind of on that phone. I think most of us know the panic of losing a phone and being like, oh my God, I lost all of my pictures and just everything. So she said, you know what? I will greet the client when they get here. Why don't you go look for your phone at your house because maybe you thought you packed it, but you didn't actually pack it. And I was like, oh my gosh, Megan, that would be so great. Thank you. So I left. Thankfully, my house is only like 5 minutes from my studio, so it's not too bad. And as I was driving to my house, I was making a left hand turn and I saw my phone skitter across my windshield wipers because I had left my phone on the hood of my truck and then apparently driven to the studio like that. So I found the phone, and thank God Megan was cool with like greeting the client. I actually got back before that even happened, but she stepped up and she was like, "I will greet them. I will start them on hair and makeup. Like I've got it. I can do this. And I just really appreciated that because I might have left, maybe even later in the day and not even realized that that's where my phone was. I was freaking out and the whole session then was easy peasy because I had my phone again and it just like lifted a lot of stress off of my shoulders, which I very much appreciate. So she really came in clutch. She's been, very patient, very like empathetic with my clients. She understands that sometimes rescheduling has to happen. She was just here and I felt terrible, but we had a no-show, which like never happens. That never ever happens. And we had one and she wasn't angry about it. She didn't make me feel bad about it. Um I don't know. She's been a really wonderful addition to the studio, and I love that she is one of Buxom Boudoir's hair and makeup artists. Actually, I love her so much that when my sister was getting married, I immediately recommended her as the makeup artist because I'm like, Megan is great. She'll make you feel so nice and great and wonderful. So, honestly, just shout out to folks helping other folks. Like being there when someone is stressed and stepping in and saying, "Hey, I've got you. Here's a solution. Let me help you out. What can I do to support you? How can I help you?" That's what Megan is for the studio, and I very much appreciate her for that. So, Megan is our babe of the week. Woo woo. If you want to book her as your makeup artist, her website is winlulibeauty.com. You can find Winluli Beauty by Megan on Instagram. I know she's on Facebook, and I can even put her link in the description of this episode if you need an MUA because I would highly recommend checking her out. She is a very cool person, and I just appreciate having women in my life who support me during moments of stress, during moments when I'm freaking out. Like I was freaking out about the no show. I was not I was not having a great time. I was stressed out about it. And she was like, "It's good. It's all good. It happens." And we ended up doing headshots for her instead because I was like, "Well, you're here. Do you want to like play around?" And she helped me test out a backdrop. So thank you, Megan, for being my studio guinea pig as well, for letting me try out new lighting and things like that. Like we need people like that in our lives who will provide us with support and help when we need it. And it just makes me feel very, very happy that Buxom Boudoir has someone like that in their corner. So thank you to Megan. You are our babe of the week, and you all need to go book her, okay, as your makeup artists if you're in Southeast Wisconsin, okay? If you want to follow along with Buxom Boudoir in my studio, please head to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest. You will find Buxom Boudoir. You will find me. I'm all over the place. I have a private VIP group on Facebook that you can join called the Buxom Babes. Feel free to head over there and join that. We talk empowerment, self love. We got memes, we got jokes, we got affirmations, we got all kinds of good stuff to make you feel better about your body. Um, and if you want to do something right now in this exact moment that will help out the studio, you can like this episode, drop a comment. Let me know what you guys are doing for the holidays. How do you celebrate? What forms of self care are you going to engage in during this very, very busy upcoming season? And please subscribe, okay? Subscribing is great. It helps us reach new people who might be interested in this. And if you have the time, you can even leave the podcast a review on, I think, just about every streaming platform. So leaving reviews is so helpful because it helps me move up the charts. And I want as many people to get information like this as possible because we could all use a little more self care in our lives, right? Yes. So thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you being here. I will leave you with the same message that I always leave you with, which is that your body is a good body. We do not hear that enough. I don't think we recognize it enough. So I will be the person to tell it to you every single week. Your body is a good body. Be kind to yourself. Be nice. Have a beautiful week. And I will talk to you all again in the next episode.